BTFU.
Welcome back to Young Guns Series 5. Tommy Sheehan, welcome.
Hello. How's it going?
Man on the hill, Nat Wood, or as we call him, Bill Collins.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Bill Collins. I like that.
And we have our first special guest. We are coming up in the world.
Thank you,
Hugo
boys.
Savala, captain of the Roosters.
Cheers,
Jersey Flegg.
boys.
Good to be here, mate.
Good to have you, mate.
Good, really good.
Yeah.
Great setup here and good crew of people.
Good on you, mate.
Great.
Yeah. Tommy, let's dive straight into it. Roosters v Melbourne, and good game on the weekend.
Well, it's convenient having the captain here. We can talk about the game a little bit more. 38-10 it ended in the end. You guys blew them out. It was a great game to watch. Give us your thoughts on the game and who played well.
Yeah, it was actually a really tough game. The scoreline doesn't tell you how tough the game really was. They were fucking real. Oh, sorry, they're actually a real tough team. The background on the game is that their coach was half of our boys' SG ball coach.
Yeah, right.
So they had a few targets on a few of our players, including myself. Actually had a few, they knew a few of our weaknesses. They love running at me because I'm not as good a defender. If you look at the stats, I actually made the most tackle I've ever made in a game. I think it made 26 tackles, and the second row next to me made 28. So it was actually quite a physically demanding game, but we did score some nice tries. And
I think you scored a nice try.
Yeah,
I
scored the first try.
Yeah.
It's good to get it off my chest because I made an error first touch. I actually chucked the ball in the.
Well, you don't see the error in the hihighlights.
Yeah,
so
no, exactly. That's a good thing. But I thought we had there wasn't any standouts in our game. I thought there was a few good players in our team. Our prop actually ended up Corey Ross. He's usually played centre the whole last year, and he actually played prop on the weekend. He did the last few games, and he played a full 70 minutes, and he played really well. He carried, I think, 150 metres really well, and our left centre, Viola, played very well, and I think our winger on that side, Isaac, scored 2 tries. So they were the 3 performances from my point.
Mate, what do you think is the success issue of the team? I mean, you're flying high at the moment.
Yeah,
where's the success being built?
Well, we all love coming to training. All the other teams in the comp, and and I speak to other people in other teams. They do want to go to training, but they don't want to be there. They don't really love it. I go to training because I love my coach, and we have good culture at the club. Yeah. And our pre-season was a real tough pre-season, but it was we did a lot of bonding stuff. We went out for drinks, we had team bonding sessions, and I think we all get along really well. Yeah, and that's a testament to what we've been doing.
And Dean Feeney, he's your coach?
Dean Feeney, he's big on culture. He's from Woolloomooloo, and he grew up around the east, and he always claims that Woolloomooloo's Roosters territory, not South territory. So we all love our coaches.
Well, the good culture's showing on the field, mate, because after that win now, you and Sharks are the only 2 undefeated teams in the comp. And I said earlier this year that they were my Smokies, this Roosters team. Yep. And I'm really excited to watch you guys play Cronulla. I think that'll be a great game.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a huge game. We're all very excited. We've got to play this week. We've got to play Knights this week, get that done. And then we come off the quick backup. We play 5 days later. We play Sharks, who come off a bye. So that'll be a big testament. I think we played before the NRL that game, and I actually got my 21st birthday the day after that, so that'd be good. Hopefully get the win. It'll be a bit fun.
So, mate, tell us a little bit about your background. I love your name. You sound like a sort of an aftershave. What a great name.
Put it on Savala
give us your background, mate. Tell us a little bit about where you're from.
So my dad and my mum, they're from the UK, and my mum's actually Portuguese, and her dad comes from a small island off Africa. So that's from my mum's side of the family, and my dad's from Scotland, and he actually got me into Scots. I was actually fortunate enough to get a scholarship into Scots from Waverley, and that's a union background, and I was coached by Brian Smith, who was an ex-NRL and rugby union player, and he taught me a lot.
I played with Brian Smith at the Tigers.
Everyone
got the best cutout pass you've ever seen.
Best cutout pass. Everyone says he's pretty boy. Pretty boy, and they always say he doesn't like. No tackler. Even my coach from last year, my SG ball coach, says, doesn't like the tackle. And now you say that there. So we all attack.
I was probably only one of the real halfbacks that liked to tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a big fan of tackling that?
No, not me. No. I might be tall, but no way I'm tackling. No way. But so I played union growing up, and then I got picked up by the Roosters when I was in year 10, and I've loved the club ever since.
Good club. I was at the Roosters for 5 years. Yeah. It's probably my favourite NRL club to play at.
100%.
I've got some great mates. Great culture, like you touched on. Any of the old Roosters players you ever grow up Who'd you look up to as an NRL player?
I looked up to. They're not going to like it. No one will actually like it. I actually really like how Todd Carney played. Not how he was off the pitch, but I really like how he played. To be honest, great player. Natural player.
Yeah.
And Mitchell Orbison, I actually like him. He's actually coaching the SG ball team at the moment, helping him out.
Yeah.
And also along with Jakey Friend, he's helping the SG ball. So the good thing with the Roosters, they actually have a lot of ex-players that are helping out the players that are currently juniors. So I think that's a great thing.
Jakey Friend, he's good for the after function.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit like me,
You've
Jakey.
been a Mad Monday or something.
I had an F1 motor for partying, I had BMX brakes. I couldn't pull up.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Mate, I look at your build, like, mate, you're one of the biggest halfbacks I've ever seen.
Huge.
Yeah,
But you
6'3".
remind me of Nico Hines. Same sort of size
Right,
build.
You got a lot of height on Nico.
How
tall are you? 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3", yeah.
6'3", is that 12'6"?
Yeah. No, I've just only put on a few kegs. I used to be a lot skinnier, believe it or not, but they've told me to put on some. But
What do you weigh at the moment?
I'm weighing like 92.
It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
huge. When I was at the Roosters, I was 72 kilos.
Yeah.
And when I finished, I think I was 83, 84.
Yeah, they put me. They
So,
put you on a
know,
little program.
No,
and
not at the Roosters. When I finished my career, I finished in England, I was 83, 84. So let's say you're going to put on 10 kilos. You're huge.
Yeah,
So you're
100%.
a bit like a Brad Fittler type of style.
Oh, you're
kind of
high on
size.
Freddie.
That's a good
You're high
comparison.
on Freddie.
Yeah. Well,
They're
I tell
very
you,
tall halfback.
Great rooster.
Yeah.
Can you play 5'8" halfback?
Yeah, I can play 5'8". I've because when I was younger, I was always been small and I've always been a bit of a bossy cunt, to be honest.
Yep.
And
That's
I
what you
always
need to
loved
do.
telling people what to do. But I've actually got size, and my dad's got the genetics to make me a little bit bigger. But I start to run a ball a bit now, and so I could change roles. They actually tried to get me to play centre a bit last year just to see how I go. But I love having the ball in my
A little
hands.
birdie told me that if you're at another club, you'd probably be pushing to get into first grade somewhere else. So
Yeah.
there's a big rap on you there. So
Yeah.
and you look like a footballer. So
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
keen to see how happy you do really well
Cheers.
with
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
What
thank
about your rugby union background? Who'd you look up to in the rugby union?
So I've always loved a few people said that I used to play a little bit like Craig Cooper. I love just chucking the ball around long balls. Craig Cooper, great player, but also I like Dan Carter because he was just the greatest number 10.
He's
I
a good
thought.
kicking
Good goal
game?
kicker
Good
as
kicker,
well.
yeah. I been kicking for goal this year. I haven't been kicking as well as I'd like. But
Did you get 5 from 7 on the weekend?
yeah, 5 from 7. Actually, one of the boys I was kicking from the sideline before half time. He says, I don't know, he said he'll buy me a beer or something just before I kicked it. One of the boys on our team just was about to kick the ball. I was like, fuck, what's he talking about? And then kicked the goal, and I said, yeah, you buy me a beer.
Yeah, that's a nice stat too, Tommy. That 5
I'll pull that out of my arse. I don't know.
No, what was that? I missed 2. That was it.
Well,
I missed 2 on the weekend. So yeah,
5 from 7. Still good.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
Hugo, mate, terrific to have you on the show.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the round now and some of the scores. Tommy, kick it off.
Well, in the first one here, we've got Panthers bouncing back 28-6 against still a struggling Raiders side. They made 6 changes to their starting lineup, Penrith, and it looked like the payoff. I don't know if they're fully back yet, Panthers, because it's against a Raiders side who are still not undefeated. They haven't won a game so far. So, they look good, and their forwards like Aston Warwick and Lipovic, they were very good as well that they kept on there.
Yeah,
so,
tremendous.
Good win for them to come back after losing last week to the Eels.
What do you think of Penrith?
Yeah, Penrith, they always got good juniors. And as I was saying, talking about the the Jersey Flegg comp, their SG ball team's quite good. So when that comp finishes, a few players might come up and they might even strengthen their side a bit more. So they're definitely a good team.
Well, after last year winning all the grades, except for Harold Matts,
they got good juniors. They will be strong.
Yeah.
Speaking of Eels, Eels getting another win, making it 3 in a row against the Dragons. They won 32-16. Terrell Williams with a hat-trick on wing. That was nice to see. And Makpur Fassi in the halfback.
Say his last name again.
Poor Fassi or Poor Fissy.
Okay.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
But he was
Gotta love
good. They moved him, I said last week, they moved him to halfback, and he's looking good, and he's really good and guiding his forwards around the pack. They've got the Tigers next week, which will be a good game to watch. Tigers had a bye this week, so it'll be good to see if they can keep their run going against the Tigers.
My man Kane Nicholas, he'll come out firing next week.
Yeah. I'd like to have Kane Nicholas on the show next as well.
We'll get him, mate.
We'll try again. Here we go. Here's a big one. Manly defeating Knights, getting their first win of the season, 24-18. Knights couldn't continue their form after a win last week. And Manly, like I said, it's their first win. Uaselli and Navale and the forwards were good again.
Big James. Yeah.
But they finally had someone to guide them around the pack, which is my young gun. I'll name him a little bit later. He was great, this player, and I'll name him at the end there. But the main game for the round was Cronulla versus Dogs, battle of the two top teams. It was a close game, 15-14. Cronulla got the win. Manaia Waitare, I've mentioned him before on this on one of our episodes. He kicked a field goal on the cusp of full time to get the win there. He went from villain to hero in the space of 2 minutes. He gave away a high tackle, which resulted in a penalty goal to level up the scores, and then just a few minutes later he kicked the field goal to get them the win. So that was good to see. Winger Kane Barnes and Maxi Riolo with a conversion from Maxi Riolo. That was the only points in the first half from the Sharkies. And I don't think the Dogs should be too worried after that game, after that loss. They were still great. They dominated possession, and they just missed that finishing touch to get them the win. But it was a great game to watch.
Hugo, have you played the Dogs yet?
No, we haven't played the Dogs. No, we haven't. But the Sharkies, they move the ball really well. They're one of the teams. We're playing them after next week, and they'll be fresh and.
They'd be looking at Maxi Riolo, wouldn't they?
Spot him up. He was at the Roosters.
He was my young gun a couple of weeks ago. He was at the Dragons, I think.
I think he was at the Dragons, but he was at the Roosters with us.
Yeah, right.
He goes hard, like he tries really hard, and he's quite skillful. But I think we can get out of him in defence.
Yeah.
Eli Clark, again, I've mentioned him plenty of times. He was strong again. Looked good in a defeated side. And another one I haven't mentioned, Samuel Noke at hooker for the Dogs. He was electric.
Yeah, right.
And great service as well.
Yeah.
So Cronulla getting the win, and now that makes you and Cronulla the only undefeated teams in the comp.
Wow, that's going to be a cracking game.
Great game.
Yeah, cracking
When does that game happen?
That's next week, Friday. What is it? The 14th.
You're still with your top four, Tom?
Sticking with it?
Yeah, sticking with your top four.
I'm happy with my top four. I'm happy with Dogs in my top four. I don't think they should be too worried after that game. But I'm liking your boys, the Chooks, and Sharkies obviously up the top there. But it'll be great to see that game, just to see who's got bragging rights out of you two.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be a good game.
Right? And young gun.
My young gun.
You know what your young gun? You know what a good idea is? I think it'd be good if a young gun can call out who they think is a young gun, because it's we're blokes sitting on the hill.
Well,
we're picking out who we think or who you think is a young gun. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to get a bit of insight to hear a young gun call out another young gun, getting to come on here and tell us his story. You know what I mean? Young gun. It's just something that come on me whilst you were talking. I was thinking, for people watching it.
Next week's
a young gun, who young guns think is who they respect as another young gun.
One of my mates from South Sydney. He didn't have the best game against us. His name's Louis Goshmi, but he's actually a goer.
I've mentioned him.
So we'll get you to call out.
Yeah, Louis Goshmi, he's a good mate of mine. I'll try to get him on here if we can. But he's a great kid, and he goes hard, and respect him. He's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, super,
good on you, Hugo.
Brilliant. And what about your young gun, Tommy?
Yeah, so my young gun this week, like I said, from Manly, he's a half-back, and he's come back into the side. He was a mainstay in last year's side as well. His name's Jamie Humphreys. Made his return for a side that was desperate for someone to take the reins and someone to move their good forwards around the pack. Like I said, he was a mainstay in last year's Manly side because he gave them direction and provides a good kicking game. Yep. He was returned this last weekend. He scored two important tries, one where he decided to go himself in a smart decision, and the other one was a towering bomb that he put up that the Knights backs just couldn't, the back three, they couldn't handle it and picked it up and scored. But his presence in the side was a main reason for Manly notching their first win, and he is my young gun for this week.
Fantastic. Well, boys, I'd like to thank Hugo, mate. Great to have you on board. And
cheers, boys.
I tell you what,
good for a first guest.
You're more than welcome to come back, mate, because you fit in really nicely this week.
So maybe get down in the pub, have a pun or something.
That's good.
Next week we're getting the biggest stools and that in the plane. We'll be drinking while we're doing it.
Thanks, boys, again.
Right.
And please go to www.btfu.com.au if you want anything on the Young Guns. Good to see you again.